Every time. What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for episode 15 of Lies and Ties. I still have a bit to go on yesterday's stream, but I'm here for this one now, so fuck it, we'll do it live. Hey, let's go, dude. So a lot of what you missed yesterday was obviously looking up the Jordan Peterson stuff, and looking at ARC, where we dug a little bit into Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a member, Arthur C. Brooks, who's a member. We got into University of Austin a little bit, and Michael Schellenberger, who is a member, for the three main people that we dug into yesterday. Now, we sidetracked a little bit on the University of Austin stuff with Joe Lonsdale, and learned some stuff about Jared Kushner's brother. But here is something interesting that I wanted to show everybody. So Ian Carroll went on Candace Owens and wore a red Kabbalah protection bracelet. Schellenberger, yeah. And he says, when my girlfriend's dad gave us both bracelets 2 weeks ago and the one he got me was red, I joked to her that we would see posts like this one. She said I didn't have to actually wear it, and I said, no, I'm definitely wearing it. And, like, first of all, there's 322 mirrored in the watch right here, which is the skull and bones thing. But you have the red Kabbalah bracelet with the little eye. The little eye that they use. The symbol. Which is pretty interesting. Now, I think it might be on my thing here. I just left the Booma. Oh, I guess you guys can't see that. Hold on. Kabbalah red protection, blue eye red bracelet. Now, this is a blue eye and not a red one, I guess, like he has, but just like Tucker Carlson, yeah. He reminds me of that Chomsky quote, the smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. They might as well have pronouns too. Yeah. But yeah. Associated with the Kabbalah, yep, there's Derek, there's Escanor talking about it. Yeah, the 223, 322, skull and bones. That eye is not solely used in Kabbalah. Turks use it too. Yeah, and it's like Hindu or something. But it's like he's not Hindu. He says he's Christian. So that's weird. I don't know. Very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. But that has nothing to do with what we're doing today. Today, we are Jordan Peterson's ARC. Jordan Peterson's ARC. So, like I was saying, we looked into, because Vivek Ramaswamy is part of it, and everything he's tied up with, which this isn't even everything that Vivek is tied up with. This is just a few of the things that are easy to corroborate. You put his name in something that he's connected to on here in a search, and you'll probably find something. And then Arthur C. Brooks, which I still have to look into some of these things because I haven't heard of some of these. And obviously the Rand Corporation is a big deal. And then the University of Austin stuff. Michael Schellenberger's part in all of the last 20 years of politics. Trevor Fitzgibbon, and how he's connected with like RFK Jr. and shit. And then we looked a little bit into Niall Ferguson, Philippa Stroud, Warren Farrell, Maurice Glassman, and that's it. So we're probably going to pick up with like Barry Strauss, John Howard, Mike Johnson. Audio is popping and clipping. Is it still popping? Is it still doing it? No. It's just sometimes. Not right now. Okay. It might have been something I was playing. There was some audio that wasn't that wasn't muted. It still is. Okay. No, it's back. Let me make sure. Properties. Is that better? How's that? Always audio with me. Is it still popping? Can't tell when it's quiet. What about now? Is it still... Man, I hate audio issues because you can't tell. You have to have other people check for you. Still? It's still popping, huh? All right, hold on. What about now? Wouldn't be proper lies and ties without some tech difficulties. Well, dude, that, I mean, if that doesn't tell you that this is just a humble operation in some dude's room, then I don't know what will. It's still popping. Okay. Let me try. Did that work? Hello? Trying to see what you guys are saying. Let's see if I can. Trying to see what you guys are saying. Oh, I see. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Do it live. That's what we're doing. It might be my internet. Internet looks good. Dropped frames looks good. I don't know. How's it sound now? Any better? Any worse? Yo, how's it going? What's up, dude? Still the same, but we'll have to deal with it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's like this. I don't have anything else running. Maybe I'll close out of that. And that. It's a little shaky. Let me check something really quick. Hold on. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. that better? Was it breaking up before I jumped in? No, it's not better. Oh. How's that? It's not too bad though. If it's a stream issue, it might fix itself. I hope so. I don't know how to fix it. I sure as shit don't know how to fix it. How's that? Is this any better? Any better? Any worse? You were Crystal yesterday, and all I did was restart my computer. Better? This is clear as day. So no popping anymore? None of that? We're good? All right. All right. Awesome. 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 All right. Barry Strauss. Cornell University and the Hoover Institution. No, it's back. I'll restart my machine. I don't think it's you. I think it's me. I think it's me. Hello? I think it's me. Hello? Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't know why it keeps popping like that. Gina 8200. What's up? What's up, Question Life? How you doing? How you doing? All right, so we have Cornell and the Hoover Institute. The Hoover Institute obviously being Stanford. It just now sounded like as if the aux was only halfway in and then you finally pushed it all the way in. Yeah, see, and I don't understand why, unless something to do with this. Hold on. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I is that better? Is that better or worse? Every fucking time. It's always something, man, I tell you. Better just roll. All right. All right, we're going. We're going. We've got Cornell and the Hoover Institute, which is Stanford. He also went to Yale. The Korea Foundation? So we also have Yale. It's not that bad. Cornell. Yeah. Yeah, Cornell's bad news. It's like the Wisconsin Illuminati or some shit. I think that's about it. Program on freedom and free societies for Cornell. He's the director. Isn't Yale the Skull and Bones one? Yep. Yep. You already know. Skull and Bones, 322, the 33 shit, all that. The bushes. El is God in Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken. El is it's the like supreme being in Freemasonry. Wasn't someone else part of the Hoover Institution? Yeah, right here. Milton Friedman. So now we also have to connect Barry Strauss. I believe we got a clean connection there. And I think we already have Yale on here too. I believe that's Vivek and JD Vance. So that's like Skull and Bones and all that shit also. Yeah, Yale. And then Cornell. Did anybody else go to Cornell? I think one or two people might have. Raphael. Yeah, why do you think we have elections and the elite and the modern day form of power is called electricity? All that shit. Stanford. Maybe we didn't add Cornell to this. Maybe I'm thinking about the Michael Flynn web. All right. Well, we have our first Cornell, Yale, and Stanford. She popped up yesterday. Ayan Hirsi Ali is a research fellow at the Hoover Institution. So she's also at the Hoover Institution. She's with the University of Austin. We'll probably dig into her here in a minute. I'd like to get more people on the actual ARC network and then build out the University of Austin stuff after that. Let's look at John Howard. Prime Minister of Australia for 11 years. The Liberal Party of Australia. So he was the Australian Prime Minister for literally 11 years. He is part of the Liberal Party in Australia. University of Sydney, president of Young Liberals. Liberal National Coalition. Trump took his shoes off today in Qatar. Really? But he was so concerned about them during the assassination. Why would he take them off? Was an admirer of Winston Churchill. Canterbury Boys High School. Tom Hughes. Minister for Business and Consumer Affairs. John Elliott. Coalition, Medicare, first term. Dude, this guy's done a lot of stuff. Most of it's just being part of things, like replacing people. First met George Bush in the days before the September 11th attacks and was in Washington the morning of the attacks. Oh. In response to the attacks, Howard invoked the ANZUS Treaty. In October 2001, he committed Australian military personnel to the war in Afghanistan. Whoa, okay. Okay. Australia joined the multinational force in Iraq and supported the invasion of Iraq. Next FIFA World Cup will be held in USA, Mexico, and Canada. Trump was put in to play the long con. Yep. Absolutely. Howard supported the surge strategy in Iraq. What's up, Mari? How you doing, MJL? Tony Blair, Colin Powell, Madeleine Albright. The Washington Speakers Bureau. That seems kind of interesting. That's going to have some other ties to it. I already saw some names. Tony Blair being one. Madeleine Albright. Colin Powell. Woke up in the middle of the night and found you live. Australia is just a U.S. military base with kangaroos. That's true. The TV stations here are going bananas about how we were so close to a nuclear war between India and Pakistan. But then we didn't have one, did we? They're just trying to generate cortisol. International Cricket Council? Oh. In February 2019, Howard provided a character reference for Cardinal George Pell, a senior leader of the Catholic Church in Australia and former Vatican treasurer, whose conviction on 5 counts of child sexual abuse while Archbishop of Melbourne was later overturned by the High Court. His character reference followed Pell's convictions and was provided along with 9 others to support Pell's barrister's submissions in the pre-sentencing hearing. That's not good. Oh, in Israel gave him the Hebrew University of he's appointed since 2008 honorary doctorate for outstanding statesmanship and leading role in the world stage in promoting democracy and combating international terrorism, and exceptional support for the state of Israel and his deep friendship with the Australian Jewish community. Surprise, surprise. You want SRA of children? Look no further than the Bush administration. You're a very talented singer. I wish all the best with what you love. Thank you. Madeline Albright, the See You Next Thursday that was all right with 500,000 children being bombed. Giving us material and political support for our war crimes. You got it. See, you guys are so smart. So we have the International Democracy Union. We have George Pell, who was convicted of child sexual abuse. Vatican. The Vatican's getting colored like a think tank because that's basically what it is. Vatican treasurer. Child sex abuse convictions. We'll go purple. And then character statement. Weird. Why would you defend someone's character after something like that? They all share the same hobby. Go back back to sleep. I wish you safety, prosperity, and happiness. Hey, you too, Mari. Thank you. All right, so that's some weird stuff. We have the Liberal Party of Australia. University of Sydney. What else do we have here? Young Liberals. I think I already have that on here. I don't. And that is another political party. We have the Coalition. And everyone that was tied up with that, whatever that's going to be. We have to dig into the members of that. Peter Dutton. I'm not familiar enough with Australian politics. There's Tony Abbott, though. Malcolm Turnbull, Scott Morrison, Peter Dutton. Okay. So the coalition includes Tony Abbott also. Where'd he go? He's somewhere in here. There he is. You may take him then closer to old John here. There we go. So Tony Abbott was part of the coalition. Add Paul Keating too. Same with Dershowitz. Prime Minister or President, you have to be a bit psycho. Paul Keating. Who's Paul Keating? Paul Keating is a rabbit hole. Dutton is a former corrupt cop. Learn all the BS. Yeah. Australia is like the Zionist settlements. They are cut off from the rest of the world and do what they want. It's human nature. It's easier to fool a man than convince him he's been fooled. Sounds like a Zion. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So he's also part of this International Force East Timor. Which was like a think tank for the Middle East stuff, like Iraq. Work choices. Workplace authority. All right. All right. I think that's everything on John Howard. Well, I guess I should put the Solomon Islands. I should put the Bush 9/11 stuff on here. Because I think that's significant that he was here like right before 9/11 happened and then basically backed everything George Bush did. Nine 11. I think that's it. He got the Presidential Medal of Freedom from George Bush right before he left office. Let's see. All right, who else do we have on here? Who's next? Mike Johnson, you're next. You've been selected. Fakest smile ever. Who? Mike Johnson? You don't think that's genuine? He looks like a Keebler elf. For the ADF, Paul M. Herbert Law Center at Louisiana State University. In the Southern Baptist Convention. Liberty University, Helm School of Government, Tony Perkins. The House Freedom Caucus. Answers in Genesis, Louisiana Family Forum, Focus on the Family. All right, hold on. Okay. Andy Biggs. Oh, he is part of so many committees. Matt Gates floated him. Then obviously Donald Trump. Freedom Caucus with McCarthy. Impeached Mayorkas. The debt ceiling. 2020. January 6th. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Raise the Wage Act. He helped the Creation Museum secure millions of dollars in tax subsidies to build the life-size Ark Encounter. The Hudson Institute. He was involved with all the FISA stuff. Mike Johnson, come on down. Paul Keating and Howard are hand in glove. Okay. Do you have any links or anything that I can look at on that? Because I'm not opposed to it. To looking into it. Oh yeah, obviously APAC. Johnson joined Republican State Attorney General Jeff Landry and Christian actor Kirk Cameron, who belongs to Mike Flynn's America's Future network, for student-led prayer and religious expression in public schools. David Barton. I don't know who that is. Okay. All right. So we have a lot here. We have Andy Biggs, who floated Johnson the first time. We have this committee that he's on. The United States House Judiciary Subcommittee on the Constitution and Limited Government. What does that even mean? they limiting the government? Because I haven't seen that happen yet. Oh man, all these fucking committees. Oh. There's so many. Oh. Dude. Mike Johnson, chill out, dude. It's too many. Too many committees. Wild Dave, thanks for asking, bud. Hope you're well. Also, we'll check back here and there. Thanks for all your hard work. Thank you. Limited government is just a fancy way of saying you want to pay less tax and cut down on social spending. But that's the thing, is they're not even talking about limiting government at all. They're talking about more government and merging with Greenland and Canada. Polar shift preparation, maybe? Probably. That's what I think is most likely. There was a movie that just came out about the pole, or a series on Netflix that just came out about the pole shift. The Creation Museum. And that's Ken Ham, I think. Petersburg, Kentucky. Answers in Genesis, which Mike Johnson is a part of. And he helped them with the Creation Museum, which was made in Petersburg, Kentucky. And that's where Ken Ham comes in. Creation Science Foundation. The Bill Nye Kinham debate. Liberty University. All right, that's about all we'll get on Kinham. We have the Hudson Institute, which I don't think I've ever brought that up before. Nope. Okay, so that's a new one for me. See who's part of that. Military spending is the good kind of big government. You see the same right now with Doge. He has a creationist theme park where cavemen ride dinosaurs. Yeah. Fun fact about that creation, the Ark one, right? The Ark encounter. This one. I used to live in this town. In this Williamstown, Kentucky town. I used to live here. From like 2002, I don't know, from like 5th grade to 9th grade. And it was a very small town. They were an independent town in the middle of Grant County. And there were about 120 kids in my graduating class. No, not 120. There was like 35. Sorry, I meant to say there's like 120 kids in the high school. There was like 500 kids in the elementary, middle, and high school put together. Now as of 2010, they had almost 4,000 people that live there. If that tells you guys, was up from 3,227 as of the 2000 census. But yeah, where the Noah's Ark thing is, that's one of my old hometowns. I used to live there. Just a fun fact. Their school mascot is the Williamstown Demons, which I always thought was kind of weird because it was a very Christian-esque sort of town, like a small, just Appalachian adjacent town. Oh, look at this. Hudson Institute is the Rand Corporation. So they're coming up again. For the record, I've never been to the exhibit. I always joked about going because it was my hometown, but I decided that that is not a good reason to go back there. All right. So Mike Johnson, we're doing work on behalf of the Rand Corporation. What do you know? Paul Keating is a former PM and is mates with Howard. They covered up child abuse. Do you have any links or anything I can look at? Go Demons, yeah. Well, what's crazy is like the middle school mascot was like something else. I just can't remember what. But they weren't the Demons. It wasn't until you got to the high school. All right. So we've got the Hudson Institute. Who are some of the current members? Oh, Mike Pompeo and Elaine Chao. Mike Pence. John P. Walters. Bill Barr. Ken Weinstein. Ursula von der Leyen. Nikki Haley, Paul Ryan, Mike Pompeo, Ronald Reagan, Rupert Murdoch, Dick Cheney, Joseph Lieberman, Netanyahu, David Petraeus, and Shinzo Abe. Oh, man. Okay. Notable funders include Silicon Valley Community Foundation, the Sarah Safe Foundation that I've looked at, and Bill and Melinda Gates. Donors Trust, Koch family, ExxonMobil. This Michael Fumento guy got funding from Monsanto. They're getting funding from the Taiwanese government. Liz Cheney. I've looked at McMaster for some reason before. We'll go back and see why. Ralph Ellison. Oh. Discovery Institute? Spun off a subsidiary nonprofit that took the name the Discovery Institute. Holy shit. Okay. All right, this Hudson Institute thing is probably going to be pretty big. Let's see if we can't do something like this. And then we'll bring this in a little. There we go. Okay. So the Hudson Institute. Oh. I fucked that up. Elaine Chao. Dude, this is connected to a lot of shit. Ooh, the Board of Trustees. Let's go, dude. Thank you for that. And then we have to look at Mike Johnson's wife's stuff. Not like that, but you guys know what I mean. Board of Trustees. Walter P. Stern. Do you guys recognize any of these people? I don't. We'll have to look into them, though. Elaine Chao, Mike Pence, John Walters, Bill Barr, Ken Weinstein. I guess he has ties to the Heritage Foundation also. Yep. Nikki Haley, Paul Ryan, Mike Pompeo, Ronald Reagan, Rupert Murdoch. You always love when someone makes a list next to Rupert Murdoch. People like Henry Kissinger, Dick Cheney. It's like, oh, okay, so we're just gonna keep going to war forever. Got it. Perma War. Netanyahu. Man, look at this basket of winners here. David Petraeus. Shinzo Abe. Jeez. Why didn't Reagan change? Oh well. All right. All right. And then these are all going to have their own things. Ronald Reagan, I kind of want by Bill Barr. I think. Rupert Murdoch. Dick Cheney. And Benjamin Netanyahu. Joe Lieberman. David Petraeus. Nikki Haley. That's all this Hudson Institute. And I guess it's connected to the Discovery Institute because it's a spinoff, which the Discovery Institute is Michael Schellenberger, if I remember correctly. Paul Ryan, Shinzo Abe. Okay. All right. Just to fuck with Ken Ham, board of trustees, the whole Ninth Circle funding by the Taiwanese government. That's just a kickback. Oh, the experts. Altman's on the staff of the Hudson Institute. Sam Altman. There's Bill Barr. Josh Block. I feel like I know Josh Block from something. The Israel Project, served as chief executive officer and president of the Israel Project from 2012 to 2019. Under the Clinton administration, Block served as a spokesman for the State Department's USAID. Founder of a boutique communications firm specializing in politics and international issues, where his clients included the WHO, the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, and several high-profile political and advocacy campaigns. I'm going to have to make this bigger. Let's go look at the Discovery Institute stuff from Schellenberger. It's on here somewhere. Right there. From the Environmental Progress. The Hudson Institute and the Discovery Institute. I'm assuming they're the same Discovery Institute. Now, I could be mistaken, but it seems like they wouldn't allow for two things to have the same name and parade around like that. So I'm going to take it at face value for now. And if that is not correct, somebody please let me know. But I'm about to go check. Where'd it go? Okay. Shinzo Abe. Owner Trust. That's Michael Schellenberger. Discovery Institute. Parent is the Hudson Institute. Okay, Clearwater, Florida. Chris Rufo. Whoa! Thank you for the membership, Mia. This Josh Block guy. Tony Blair is in that business too nowadays. Kind of like Fitz. Wait, what? People who should be in The Hague for 500 I would, if I had to offer a job, my name would be changed to Dre, and there was an Altman on the staff. I remember that last name from another episode. Whoa, thank you for the $50, Mia. What the fuck? What the hell? Thank you so much for that. Look, I got a little donation thingy. Holy shit, thank you for supporting the stream. So I need to see... Mr. Booty? What? Collaboration on homelessness initiatives. North America Recovers, which Discovery Institute is a founding member of. Said that wrong. Well, thank you so much. Holy shit. The support means a lot because this job definitely does not pay. Anyone with money, a lot of money, ends up getting exposed. So, yeah. The Bradley Center. Oh, man. This is like combining 3 or 4 different things. Okay. So the Discovery Institute was part of the homelessness thing, right? The North America Recovers Coalition. Whoa! 50 more? Off to play Doom. Everyone have a great day. Let me know how that is. I don't get time to play games anymore. Independent Institute also. Holy shit. Thank you for the fucking $100, Mia. You are amazing. It's gonna pay like my light bill, I think. So the North America Recovers, then, that is also part of the Cicero Institute. Seriously, thank you for that, Mia. Holy shit. That's more than I've made the entire month. The Discovery Institute, and the North America Recovers stuff with Schellenberger and Rufo. So Rufo, I guess, was a part of this. Also, Doom is amazing. Let's go. I'm glad to hear it. And Chris Rufo is part of the whole this stuff. So let me grab all of this. Yeah. Because all of this is also important. So I'll sort of break down what we have here. So you have Chris Rufo, who's part of the Manhattan Institute, right? Is also part or was part of the Discovery Institute, which is something that Michael Schellenberger and him worked on with the North America Recovers stuff. Now, some of the members of this Manhattan Institute attended Hereticon, which is Peter Thiel's like doomsday ball that he does that promotes like transhumanism and all of his like fake libertarian nonsense. And that was Colin Wright, Christina Buttons, and then Megan Murphy and Ariel Scarcell. Now, the Manhattan Institute had a few people like James Lindsay, Pete Boghossian, Chris Rufo, Vocal Distance, Osra Nomani, and Rehan Morshed Salam, and Kathleen Stock all were attending meetings together in Montana for some reason. Now, why, it was never stated, but there are pictures of all of them together for the meeting. Now, what it was or what it had to do with is anybody's guess. But you'll remember that the Manhattan Institute is also connected with Bill Ackman, who we brought up when we covered Vivek Ramaswamy. So as you can kind of see, a lot of these same people are starting to come up. And this isn't even bringing in like the Paul Singer shit that we have to get to. This Peter Boghossian, I can link him up there because he's actually part of the Manhattan or the University of Austin. So we have the Breakthrough Institute right here, which was Rachel Pritzker and Mark Linus. Okay. Chris Rufo's right there. Maybe I'll just do this. Chris Rufo. The Discovery Institute. So we'll take Jonathan Cho, put him up here. We'll bring the Manhattan Institute stuff up. Colin, Christina, Bill Ackman, Chris Rufo, Montana meeting. Might have to come over. Redicon will have to come over. So the Montana meeting can go here. This. And the Breakthrough Institute. It's also Schellenberger. But I guess that's not really a big deal right here. Oh, shit! DB, thank you for the membership! Let's go. A new badge. All right. Ooh, discovery. Yes, I need that. Stephen Mayer went to Cambridge, Spokane, Washington, philosophy, journalist, Darwinism. So Charles Darwin, Ben Stein. That's it. George Gilder. Center on Wealth and Policy, Discoveries, Technology and Democracy Project. He studied under Henry Kissinger, served as a speechwriter for Nelson Rockefeller, George Romney, Richard Nixon. The Lehrman Institute's Economic Roundtable. I feel like the Lehrman Institute's come up for me before. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Lehrhaus, which is like the Jewish school in Germany. George Gilder of the Discovery Institute. And so I'm about to start bringing in like the Paul Singer stuff. Where are you, Pete Boghossian? There you are. Did I go through anything? Oh, look at that. Perfect. Let me actually take these and move them over here. Like so. We'll do like this. That works. That works. Okay. What else? Nothing. All right. University of Austin. Pete Boghossian is on the Discovery Institute. Or no, he's on the Manhattan Institute. Which also has Bill Ackman. So let me go find Bill Ackman's name. Okay. Maybe we can make this work. We did not. Okay. That'll work, I guess. Bring that down. Bring this over. Down like that. Up and over. Sorry, I'm having to fix some stuff. Man, compared to everybody else, Barry, you're fucking slacking, man. Rand Corporation. That over just a little bit. And oh, so close. Okay. All right. All right. We're fixed. All right. So now Bill Ackman is also tied all the way down to the Manhattan Institute. So I'm going to take him off of here. Move everybody up. And then James Lindsay is also here. Get rid of that. So James Lindsay, most people don't realize that he works for the Manhattan Institute and answers basically directly to Paul Singer and Chris Rufo. Oh, I see where I messed up. Okay. Dumpster Baby, what's up? Good day. Sorry it was AFK. All good. All good. So this all just ties into the other stuff I was looking at with Schellenberger, which Schellenberger is the guy on the left, and was like working with like Obama and stuff. So now they're like the newly reformed, used to be left, now I'm common sense Republican. That's where all that shit's coming from. And like the woke right shit that they're trying to say. It's so funny. What else did I get from that? The Danube Institute. I guess Rufo is a part of that also. And they run game for like Viktor Orban and shit. That's why you're seeing all the pro-Hungary talking points come out, because Viktor Orban is using this Danube Institute in the same way that people like Rufo and Ackman use the Manhattan Institute. And they're basically like buying goodwill through PR. And so, what's the rest of this? Stella O'Malley from GenSpect is part of it. Helen Joyce, I don't remember where she fits in. Let me check. Oh, she's also part of it. Okay. And Stella O'Malley was part of the GenSpec stuff with Michael Schellenberger. Still O'Malley. Look at that. Clean line. Well, we have to move Pete Boghosi in a little bit, but it'll be all right. Okay. All right. Redicon has to tie up to Peter Thiel and like Mike Solana, which I don't even think I have Mike Solana on here yet. Wow. I can't believe I was able to tie Peter Thiel all the way down here. Not move anything. Okay. So, wait. How you get a $100 light bill controlled op, eh? Yeah, something like that. No, I don't remember what my light bill is. It's too fucking much, that's for sure. So, yeah, we have Larry Summers, who's connected to Epstein, Center for Global Development, OpenAI. That's that Lawrence Summers guy. Which I think he's over here with the University of Austin stuff. Right there. So Larry Summers, Epstein. No way I make it. Nah, it ain't happening. Unless... Nah, that ain't happening. All right. And I think I just have to move SoftBank. Yeah, so Larry Summers with the Epstein stuff, Center for Global Development, and OpenAI. He's associated with both. What else did we have down here? Save Austin now. North America recovers with Tim Dunn. Hmm. Trying to think of how best to do this. David Sachs. Did I have him on the University of Austin stuff? No. I'll have to go back and look at that. But Kathleen Stock, who was part of that Montana meeting. Because I already have her. Right here. I didn't even know. I didn't even know who she was. I just made sure I listed her name. Oh, I'm right through Larry's stuff. Okay. All right. All right. Looking good. What else did we have on here? Luminous Strategies and the Fitzgibbon stuff. Tim Dunn. See, this brings in the Doom Loop stuff. Hallow, Russell Brand, the Westminster Declaration. Jennifer Say is important. Where did I have the rest of this stuff? I could have swore I had, maybe it's under the Michael Schellenberger web. I have one that's just Michael Schellenberger that's like pretty extensive, and then one that's Schellenberger that is less extensive. What was I looking for? It was the... Because there's the Fitzgibbon stuff. Steve Kirsch. What was it? I swear there was something else. I just can't remember what it is now. Yeah, it's escaping me. What else? Gotta go, 7. I'll catch the rest on replay. Y'all have a good one. Hey, thanks for all your help, Mule. Where did I have it? That was the one I was going to do just on the Manhattan Institute. It was some other stuff with Rufo and Crystal. Maybe, hold on. Oh, it was on the Peter Thiel Elon Musk web. I see. Okay. All right. So here's where we start to get some other stuff. Joseph Crystal, Elise Stefanik. Or wait. Yeah, Joseph Crystal is also part of the Manhattan Institute. I believe this is Billy Crystal's son. And he's part of Elliott Management, which is Paul Singer. Get Bill Crystal. Right. So you have Paul Singer, Bill Crystal, and Joseph Crystal all working at Elliott Management, and Joseph Crystal is at the Manhattan Institute. Yes. And then Club for Growth, one of the biggest contributors to it is Paul Singer. This is where shit's going to get a little weird. Right? And then from there, we have Jeff Yoss, who is one of the biggest funders of Club for Growth, along with people like Peter Thiel and Virginia Roberts, I think is her name. Another person that is a prominent donor to Club for Growth is Peter Thiel and Rebecca Mercer. Sorry, Oprah. Not really. Okay. So Peter Thiel also donates to this Club for Growth. Coming in real quick to smash that like and say hi. What's up, Crimson? I wish they had the same laws they have there where I stay. Where do you stay? No, you know what? Don't tell me. It's probably for the best. Now, Jeff Yoss owns Susquehanna International Group, which is one of the #1 investors in ByteDance. When is the Florida connection coming? To this one? To Jordan Peterson? I'm not sure. Now, when we revisit the Mike Flynn web, which I'm hoping to do next week, it'll be then. So here's something that people hate me for. When I talk about the fact that Thomas Massey and Rand Paul get money from Jeff Yoss. Thomas Massey has gotten hundreds of $192,000 approximately from Club for Growth. He's got money from Jeff Yoss, and he's gotten money from Jeff Yoss's company, Susquehanna International. Another notable member from Club for Growth, Tom Cotton. And Ted Cruz. We'll have it rolling in the background. Let's go, dude. Thank you. Is the Andressen Horowitz stuff finally coming up? Maybe. Oh yeah, Paul Singer runs Marco Rubio and Elise Stefanik. I don't know how you pronounce it. So this is all stuff that I verified, I think, on episode 1 or 2 of Lies and Ties. Right? And then, so you have Paul Singer over the Manhattan Institute with all these people. I guess Christina Buttons was wrapped up with Curtis Yarvin at some point. Mike Solana. The Network State Movement. Can't remember what that was for. Yeah, the Breakthrough Institute. Rachel Pritzker. Forget. The Breakthrough Institute. Ted Nordhaus. Ted Nordhaus, I believe, is on here already. Right here, under the Apollo Alliance. Yeah, okay. So, the Breakthrough Institute, I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the Discovery Institute. Let me check. Breakthrough Institute, Michael Schellenberger, Ted Nordhaus. This was like a clean energy thing. Michael Mann, Werbach, Greenpeace. Robert Stone. Rachel Pritzker right there. Funders. Breakthrough Energy. I was expecting to see the Bradley Foundation on here. Generation Fellows. Eric Kennedy. Okay, I don't recognize any of these people. Senior Fellows. Andrew McAfee. Jennifer Bernstein. I think I have her right there. Yep. Sure enough. So I'm probably going to have to take this Breakthrough Institute and... No, I guess it's fine. Where did I put the Pritzkers? Oh, they're all the way over here. Okay. Rachel to the Breakthrough Institute. Did you guys see that Ben and Jerry's bullshit that was going on today? I guess Ben and Jerry's got thrown out or something. That's all bullshit. That's all just Michael Schellenberger, Global Exchange, more theater. Okay. All right. So there was something else here that I was trying to make a point of, but I don't remember what it was. I guess I'll just add all of this under the Elliott Management stuff, and then I'll explain it. So Elliott Management managed mergers for BCM Software and Athena Health separately, but under the Athena Health one, they also brokered that deal in collaboration with Hellman and Friedman, who was responsible for the contact tracing for COVID-19, which the contract ended up going to Kronos Inc. in collaboration with Hellman and Friedman. So they did BCM Software. They did Athena Health. And then they did something with Athena Health. I think they brokered the deal between BCM Software and Bain Capital. That's what it was. Bain Capital is Mitt Romney's thing. the Bain Capital stuff is also interesting because Bain Capital is in a partnership called NXP Semiconductors, which is a partnership with Apex Partners, Silver Lake, and KKR and Co. That's what it is. And NXP Semiconductors, they do a lot of government contracts for e-passports, and they own the rights to the NFC technology in collaboration with Sony. So like the contactless pay, like touch pay and all the near field chips that we use, they're all owned by this NXP Semiconductors group. Like the technology rights or whatever you want to call them. Wait, I guess that should go the other way. That, like that. And then KKR and Co., which is Ken Melvin. But wait, it gets even crazier because I'm about to tie it to Epstein. And so what you have with this, hold on, I gotta make sure I'm bringing all this right. And so I'm sorry, it's a lot to explain, but I'm gonna do my best. And so KKR and Co. owns this company called OHBSE, which employs someone named Hans Koenigsmann, who is important because of their relationship with a lady named Gwynne Shotwell. Gwynne Shotwell is overseeing Starlink and partnering with T-Mobile, the Department of Defense, because she's over SpaceX. And Hans Koenigsmann introduced Gwynne Shotwell to Elon Musk. Does that make sense? You see where we're sort of going with all this? So we'll just take all of this, bring it over. And then we have the OpenAI from, is it Peter Boghossian? I can't remember who it was. But someone's on the board that we've already added, and I believe I already have SoftBank on here as well. And Oracle, Pete Hegseth, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. Okay. So she is overseeing Starshield, Starlink. She is working directly with T-Mobile. and she oversees Elon's SpaceX. There it is. I'm telling you guys, everything is connected. It's almost retarded. And like the fact that people can't see just how connected everything actually is worries me. It really truly does. All right, SpaceX all the way down, all the way down. And then through her, we have the Starlink, T-Mobile, Sprint. There's got to be a better way to connect all this stuff. I'll figure it out eventually. But for right now, we're just going to have to deal with duplicates. SoftBank, Oracle. Sam Altman. Then obviously from Oracle, we get Larry Ellison. Pete Hegseth has investments in Oracle, by the way, like money. He has investments in Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. So part of me feels like maybe he shouldn't be the one making military decisions. Andreessen Horowitz. Okay, now I gotta bring it back to Epstein because I told you guys I would. Wait for it. Trump administration. Okay. So let me just grab all of this. We'll bring it over. All right, so we have Bain Capital, which owns LinkedIn, Jet, or it used to own Jet, DocuSign. And this is going to be important here in a second. I'll show you guys why. And DocuSign. Right. And so what Bain Capital ended up doing was selling this. So Jet was a real-time pricing algorithm, and Bain Capital sold that to Walmart. And essentially what we're going to get is in a Walmart near you, they are going to start updating all of the tags to electronic tags. And these will be able to be changed in real time based on who's in the store, maybe who's purchasing it, and everything like that. Two hours of work and I missed it. I am so sorry, man. Every Wednesday and Thursday, most likely at either 4 or 5. It's kind of my fault for not saying when specifically a lot of the time. And then Platinum Equity, which I believe owns Apex Partners. Just wait. The Epstein connection is coming, I promise. And so I believe Platinum Equity owns Apex Partners. Now, Apex Partners, wait, what's this? Platinum Equity, that's what it is. That's what it is. Platinum Equity owns, hold on, I have to clean this up a little bit. Platinum Equity owns McGraw-Hill, the textbook company. Now, Platinum Equity owning McGraw-Hill is interesting because McGraw-Hill was at one time owned by Maxwell Communications. Now, Maxwell Communications, for the uninitiated, was run by Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell at one point owned the company that was printing all of the textbooks for the U.S. public education system. A lot of people don't know that. And then that got bought by Platinum Equity, which owns Apex Partners, which is invested in NXP Semiconductors with Silver Lake. Philip Electronics became NXP Semiconductors, and then you also have Bain Capital and KKR and Co. And then obviously Robert Maxwell and all of his ties to everything. Maxwell Communications, Robert Maxwell. So that's where we're going to get Jeffrey Epstein. And Ghislaine Maxwell. I may do this because Ghislaine is close to Elon. Right. That looks good. Larry Summers down to OpenAI. Sorry, I'm just having to fix some stuff. This is my life. Okay. All right, that all looks good. US-Russia conflict. Down here. Real-time pricing algorithms. Walmart. Mitt Romney. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so this Josh Block guy, what's his deal? I was working, I missed it, dude. I appreciate you. Hey, thanks, brother. Thank you so much. Omer's is Apex Partners. Omer's. I forget what this stands for, but Omer's is just the WEF, basically. It's like one of their investment firms or something. Weird stuff. Omer's, I lied. It's the Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement System, but they're a partner of the WEF. That's what it was. So Omer's, I have to go find Ted Nordhaus. There it is. WEF to Omer's. Damn you, Richard Dawkins. And we got Ronald Reagan on here a couple times too. I'll have to fix that. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks, Mike Johnson. You gave me so much to work with here. There's the Heritage Foundation again. Let me bring some of this up. Okay. All right. So should we start looking into some of these other people from the Hudson Institute? I really want to know this Josh Block guy's deal. I've heard his name a lot. LinkedIn. The Israel Project. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming just more Zionist bullshit. What else has he done? Co-chair the PPI Freedom House Iran Task Force. He joined the senior staff of AIPAC. That's not good. State Department's USAID under Clinton. Bill Clinton. USAID. Orange. Boom. Boom. Okay. All right. Clients included, was a founder of a boutique communications firm. What was the communications firm called? Malton PR? He was part of the Progressive Policy Institute. Man, this guy's done a lot more than I thought. The Jewish Institute for National Security of America. What does that even mean? Are you protecting Americans or just the Jewish Americans? Progressive Policy Institute. AIPAC, Israel Project. What is the boutique thing? Is it this? No. Is it block campaigns? No. What is his... What was his communications firm called? Does anybody know? It doesn't say. How do I look at his communications firm? It doesn't tell me what it was. Maybe it'll tell me on this one. No. I don't even know the name of the company. Is it Rocket Reach? No. Panasonic? Surely not. I guess I'm just not going to know what his company is. A boutique communications firm. There's got to be more on that. Whatever. I'm getting lost in the sauce on this Josh Block guy. We'll come back to do the rest of these guys another day. I want to move on to this Gudrun Kugler lady. Gudrun Kugler. Fundamental Rights Platform. The Austrian People's Party. World Youth Alliance Europe. What else we got here? Kairos PR. That'd be interesting to look into. Austrian People's Party. The FRA. OVP. I guess she's the chairwoman. Founded Europe for Christ. Why have I looked at this before? OSCE. Kosovo. Greg Abbott. I can't figure out why I've seen this page before. Relations with the United Nations. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's why. Europe for Christ. The Observatory on Intolerance and Discrimination Against Christians. I feel like Christians don't really get bullied. International Theological Institute. Awakening Austria. She supported Kim Davis. A historian, head of Kairos Consulting, and former spokesperson of the Austrian branch, Opus Dei. Oh, look at that. Who else was Opus Dei on here? Who else was Opus Dei? Arthur C. Brooks was also Opus Dei. Martin Kugler. Damn you, Oprah. Okay. So we have Opus Dei. And then we have Martin Kugler. Kugler. I don't know how to pronounce it. There. And I'll bring him down over like that. So close. There we go. All right. So her husband is also Opus Dei. Or was before they got married, allegedly. And left. I don't buy it. Europe for Christ, World Youth Alliance Europe, International Theological Institute, Organization for the Security and Cooperation in Europe, Observatory on Intolerance and Discrimination Against Christians. Again, I don't know where that's coming from. Fundamental Rights Agency would be a think tank, so that's going to be yellow. Austria People's Party is a party, so it's going to be orange. Kairos PR, which they run, is a company, so it's going to be green. And then OVP is also a political party, so it will be orange. And then these are all think tanks. Opus Dei, Catholic operatives. I had a friend who was very wealthy who was a member of Opus Dei. Probably the only reason she was a member was her wealth. Probably. If there's one thing that they need more than people to push the agenda, it's money. So they can pay people to push the agenda. Austrian People's Party, Kairos PR, and OVP. Now, her husband is also part of this Kairos PR, and I'm interested to see who their clients are. Okay, that's all I have. Martin Kugler. Students Help Latin America and Fundap in Guatemala. Interesting stuff doing charity work in Latin America, because I've heard that's how they train CIA agents. They send them down there under the guise of charity work, and they're actually training them. So anytime you see someone went to go do this thing in Central America to go help kids or the rainforest or whatever the fuck that looks like, that was CIA training. Projects. ARC. Bioethics Dialogues. Vatican Magazine. Lobby for Children. Youth Academy. Scope of action. I'm not going to lie, this website is very shitty. They wouldn't lie. Uh, yeah, they would. It looks like they do a lot of printing for this Paul Coleman guy. Bro, how is this a website in 2024? This is terrible. Legal information. Yeah, this is weird. Okay. All right. So she's just extremely like Christ oriented. While her husband is with Opus Dei. Yeah, we still have to look into Tony Abbott too. I'm gonna take some of this and move it over some. It should be all right. Yeah, okay. All right, so things are starting to get a little crazy. I feel like I could move a lot of this in. Let's see. Maybe. Maybe that'll work. All right. We're reaching the the I'm managing things part of the stream. I'm trying to like move everything around so that it all fits nice and neat. I wish I could like explain to you guys what happens in my head when one thing that I've been researching clicks with other things that I look into. Because it's like the second the one thing makes a connection, it almost throws me off my game because I'm like, oh shit. I don't know. I become speechless. You think you know everything there is, and then lo and behold, they go and pull some bullshit and change the game. Okay. All of this looks largely unchanged. So that's good. All right. So the Medea Benjamin stuff. I'm basically just trying to like trim everything up and consolidate it so that it takes up less space. The problem that I have is I'm always having to create space for the connections that branch all the way across. So that's proven a little difficult. Come on now. The Benjamin Fund and the Bradley Foundation are some things that you guys should look into if you ever get a chance. Uh, we're probably going to look at them eventually. It won't be tonight. But there's a lot of crazy stuff coming out of there regarding like Wisconsin and Racine and stuff. So interesting developments, to say the least. The LaFranc organization, the Benjamin companies, New School for Social Research, which is its own entirely can of worms that would take breaking down the last 100 years of America to understand why that's important. Which I hope to do eventually. It just won't be tonight. Take some of this, move it in. That should be fine. Bring this up. Jane Fonda Foundation. Sorry, I know this isn't very informative at the moment. I'm just trying to I'm trying to clean everything up while I'm at it. See if I can't make things look a little better, a little cleaner. Just bring Jody Evans down, like that. All right. And then I can move this down. Bring the Pritzkers. No, you know what? We're going to move this up here. Then we can bring the Pritzkers over. Like that. Yeah, that works. Okay. Now let's see if we can take some of this. Move it in a little. It's kind of tough because I have other things on here. I might be able to move this down here. That. Or maybe like that. Bring this here. Ted Nordhaus can come over some. This can come over some. Then I gotta cut it. Like so. Like so. And then boom. 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 And we're consolidating. No. Okay. All right, let's see where we're at so far. Okay. So let me bring this. I might be able to have this all in here. So the World Bank. UN Development Programs, Center for Global Development. Mark Brown. And done. Right. What else can we consolidate on here? I guess environmental progress can come over a little bit. Right there. See, this is the most annoying part is there's so much shit that they do all the time. There's not room to put it all. All right. So let's see if we can the Independent Institute. I wonder if I've already listed that somewhere today. All right, and then we can bring all of the civilization work stuff in. But not very far. Lily Markle. We'll take Melissa Chin. Move her over. go. I already have MIT on here, so I'll have to hunt that down and find that and link her to that. The Broad Institute. Okay. So Matt Swanson, all of his doings. Okay. Alex Gutentag can come over. Phoebe and her DARPA ties can come over. Ken Broad can come over. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little OCD about it now because I'm seeing some that aren't trimmed down and they're taking up space. And then some that are trimmed down. Okay. Then we have John Carreri, his veteran rights. And then Jay Snyder and all of his bullshit. Might be able to take these two and move them down here. Like that. Let's see. Right there. The Getty Research Institute Council. And then the Young Presidents Organization Gold. All right, that'll do. Then I'll just bring all of his Wharton School. So he went to the Wharton School of Business with people like Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, the Antiquarian Society. I don't even know what that is. But that's on here too. Spectagard is like some security company. And then the Snyder Foundation is his dad's thing, Ed Snyder. And that's also how he's part of the Spectacorp. His dad was part of it. He's also part of it. Spectacorp falls under Comcast now. There's got to be a better way to do that. Like this. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to like bring some of this stuff in. Like I feel like I could take all of this and just move it over. I may have made things worse. Hard to say. Kevin Donner. Bring that up. Bring this down here. Black Lives Matter, Food First, Columbia University, Code Pink, Jody Evans, who's also part of Occupy Wall Street. And then the New School for Social Research is, again, just going to be its own giant ball of web. Because they connect to like the original technocrats and stuff. Okay. All right, that'll do for now. But I have so much more stuff to clean up. Bring this down, like that. Okay. Bring her up a bit. Forum. I don't know if you saw a message earlier contemplating doing a map on the Michelle Moore show. I did see your message, and I responded by sending you I chatted with a link, and I said, this Michelle Moore, and I linked her, but you might have been gone already. But yeah, I mean, if they hold power and influence, they are on the list. So if you know them and you know of them and you know that that's what they're doing, you let me know and I'll look into it. Happily. Nigel Farage. Drexel Burnham Lambert. Okay. Sorry, I'm just it irritates me that everything is so messy all the time. I did dip out for a minute and I missed that. Sorry, and thank you. Booma did a show earlier with Patrick and they discussed the whole Michelle debacle. So is this the Michelle from the Ford Foundation? Because I linked her Ford Foundation profile and I was like, this lady? There's still so many more people to go. All right. I say we stop right here and we continue. I'm going to do a surprise stream probably Saturday. Probably. It's a surprise because no one's going to know unless you were here right now. Tomorrow night, I am going to be on with Wheezy and Charles. I'm supposed to be working on an article for Vagabond, Last American Vagabond. That's going to be cool. Doing an article on his website for the first time, so that's interesting. But yeah, there's got to be a way to like bring all this stuff in a little tighter. I just don't know what that is yet. All right, so to recap what we've gotten today, we're looking at Jordan Peterson's arc. This is part 2. First, we have Maurice Glassman, who is part of Citizens UK, helped co-found the Blue Labour Party and part of the Labour Party. He went to London Metropolitan University, Johns Hopkins University, University of York, and the European University Institute. Not a whole lot about him, except that he's going to be doing a show with Nigel Farage, where they just argue with each other all the time. And Nigel Farage coming from the Drexel Burnham Lambert stuff. We had Barry Strauss, not a whole lot on him. He went to Cornell. He is part of the program on freedom and free societies. He also went to Yale. And is part of the Hoover Institute. That's this Barry S. Strauss. And that's the same Hoover Institute that Peter Thiel's a part of, that's part of Stanford, that a lot of people contribute to. It's a big, like, I would consider it like a think tank within the university, if I'm being honest. Next, we have John Howard. So John Howard was the Australia PM, part of Young Liberals, part of International Democracy Union, Liberal Party of Australia. He went to the University of Sydney. He is part of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, where he was given an award for how dedicated he is to Israel. He met with George Bush right before 9/11. He's part of this coalition thing with Tony Abbott. He is part of the Washington Speakers Bureau with Colin Powell, Madeleine Albright, and Tony Blair. And then when George Pell, the former Vatican treasurer, was under investigation and was convicted of child sex abuse, John Howard spoke on behalf of George Pell to do a character statement for him to try to get him out of trouble. So that's really interesting. I'm so confused. What is this about? But I see you doing this every day. Could you take a minute and explain what you're working on there? So this is a web dedicated to Jordan Peterson's ARC network, his Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. And we're basically mapping out everything that everyone is a part of to show you, like, these are the people they're aligned with. These are the people that fund them. This is, you know, who their political friends are, and just kind of show everyone that everything's connected, because it is. He's part of the Washington Speakers Bureau with Tony Blair, Madeleine Albright, and Colin Powell. And then you also have Mike Johnson. So Mike Johnson is a part of a few things. First, Andy Biggs is one of his buddies, and so is Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz has ties to Epstein through that one reporter, Charles something. But Matt Gaetz' sister is also married to Palmer Luckey's, or Palmer Luckey's sister is married to Matt Gaetz. Mike Johnson is on the subcommittee on the Constitution and Limited Government, Administrative State Regulatory Reform and Antitrust, Courts, Intellectual Property, AI, and the Internet, the Weaponization of the Federal Government, the Committee on Armed Services, House Armed Services Subcommittee on Readiness, and the Subcommittee on Cyber Information Technologies and Innovation. He's also part of the Answers in Genesis, which helped create the Creation Museum with Ken Ham. He was part of the January 6th dialogue. He is also part of this thing called the Hudson Institute, which includes people like Shinzo Abe, Paul Ryan, Mike Pompeo, Ursula von der Leyen, Nikki Haley, David Petraeus, Joe Lieberman, Benjamin Netanyahu, Dick Cheney, Rupert Murdoch, Bill Barr, Ronald Reagan, Mike Pence, Elaine Chao, John P. Walters, Kenneth Weinstein, and then Josh Block. Josh Block was over USAID under Clinton. He was the president of the Israel Project, Jewish Institute for National Security of America. He's a part of AIPAC and has been for years and years, and the Progressive Policy Institute. Now, the Hudson Institute works alongside the Discovery Institute, which includes Chris Rufo. The Discovery Institute, founded by George Gilder, and includes Jonathan Cho. Now, Chris Rufo is part of the Manhattan Institute, the Discovery Institute, and the Danube Institute. So Chris Rufo, with the Manhattan Institute, you have Bill Ackman, Colin Wright, Christina Buttons, Chris Rufo, you have James Lindsay, and you have Paul Singer. Now, from there, there's a couple of other shady people as well. Megan Murphy and Aria Scarsell went to Hereticon, which is Peter Thiel's thing. All of these people right here all met in Montana for some random meeting one time where they were all pictured. You have, from this Montana meeting, you have Local Distance, which is Michael Young, Asra Nomani, and Rehan Morshed Salam. Christina Buttons was there. And then, so from Paul Singer is where you start to get Elliott Management, Joseph Crystal, Bill Crystal. Paul Singer's over Marco Rubio and Elise Stefanik. Paul Singer donates to the Club for Growth, which donates to people like Tom Cotton and Thomas Massey. Club for Growth's biggest donor is Jeff Yoss, which is he also donates to Thomas Massey. And so does his company Susquehanna International Group, which is one of the primary owners of ByteDance, which owns TikTok. And then Elliott Management has also helped with BCM Software and Athena Health. Athena Health, they worked with Hellman and Friedman, who were responsible for the contact tracing stuff, for the COVID-19 things with Kronos. Now, Elliott Management also works with Bain Capital on BCM Software, which is Mitt Romney's VC firm, and it sold Jet to Walmart, which is a real-time pricing algorithm. It owns LinkedIn, and it owns DocuSign. Now, Bain Capital is part of NXP Semiconductors, which owns NFC technology and government contracts on e-passports. It used to be Philips Electronics. NXP Semiconductors is KKR & Co., which is Ken Melman, Apex Partners, Silver Lake, and Bain Capital. Now, Apex Partners is Platinum Equity, which at one time owned McGraw-Hill, which was owned by Maxwell Communications, which was run by Robert Maxwell, who's the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, and was partnered with Jeffrey Epstein to run the sex trafficking blackmail operation stuff. Apex Partners is also part of OMERS, which is partnered with the WEF. You have KKR & Co. has this company called OHBSE, which includes someone named Hans Koenigsmann, which introduced Gwynne Shotwell to Elon Musk. Gwynne Shotwell is now over SpaceX/Starlink for the Starshield project. So she's connected with like DoD government projects. Starshield is also in collaboration with Northrop Grumman, which Pete Hegseth is invested in, alongside Lockheed Martin and Oracle. And then that's where you get the T-Mobile, SoftBank, Oracle, Stargate, OpenAI shit. And then Sam Altman. Now, OpenAI also sits Larry Summers, who's over the Center for Global Development, and tied to Epstein. And then from the Danube Institute, they're the ones running all the cover for Viktor Orban in Hungary. They're closely partnered with Vladimir Putin. They're working with the Heritage Foundation, and a bunch of other bullshit coming out of that. And then we had this lady. So this is Gudrun Kugler. She is part of Students Help, or her husband was part of Students Help Latin America and Fund App out of Guatemala. He was part of Opus Dei. She founded Europe for Christ, World Youth Alliance Europe, International Theological Institute, Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Observatory on Intolerance and Discrimination Against Christians. Her and her husband co-founded this thing called Kairos PR. She's part of the Austrian People's Party and the OVP, and is part of the Fundamental Rights Agency. And that's about as far as we got tonight. A lot of this Hudson Institute, Paul Singer, Manhattan Institute, all this stuff right here, the Club for Growth, Thomas Massey, Jeff Yoss, Club for Growth, one of their other biggest donors is Peter Thiel. So Peter Thiel, Paul Singer, Jeff Yoss, and Rebecca Mercer. Which Rebecca Mercer isn't even on here yet, but then you start getting into like 1789 Capital and everything that's involved with, and it starts getting pretty messy. Oh, the Rand Corporation is also the one that started the Hudson Institute. So Mike Johnson and all these people right here, including the Discovery Institute, which is a spinoff of the Hudson Institute, that's all the Rand Corporation and all they're doing. So far it looks like we have Peter Thiel, Jeffrey Epstein, PayPal Mafia stuff. We have Charles Koch and the old GOP still running things. Peter Thiel and the technocrats with people like Elon Musk. We have, obviously, Operation Stargate and all that. We have Vivek. We have some loose ties to Brock Pierce over here. We have the Sally Sadel stuff, the Apollo Global stuff. We have all of Elon's companies right here. Y Combinator came up with like the Joe Lonsdale stuff, which is, again, Peter Thiel. We have Eric Prince and Blackwater stuff on here, which I need to move like that. So all that's going to start coming up with Mike Flynn. And then we have all the Michael Schellenberger stuff, which this is like establishment Democrats and all of their PR campaigns and shit that they're doing to manufacture public perception. Kathleen Stock, we're going to look into eventually when we get to the University of Austin. So when I get to the University of Austin stuff, it's probably going to be after I hit the rest of the members of ARC. Because down here we start getting, military industrial complex stuff. We have Christian theology stuff here and here. Australia is coming into play. We're eventually going to get to like Dan Crenshaw and people like that. So far, Jordan Peterson, your network is kind of fucked up. What I may end up doing is taking some of these people and moving them around a little bit so that everything flows a little easier. Like, there's no reason why Niles still needs to be all the way down there. He should be, like, up here. I'll worry about rearranging everything later, though. But yeah, so that's everything that we have so far. And we will be continuing maybe Saturday with Tony Abbott. So be on the lookout for that. You're saying her name wrong. It's pronounced Ghislaine. Oh, my bad. Ghislaine Max. But that's going to do it for stream, everybody. I know this one was a little shorter than normal. I had just recorded something with Indy right before going live, so I wasn't super prepared, but I think we made some pretty decent progress today, especially with Mike Johnson and tying in all the Paul Singer stuff and the Manhattan Institute stuff, because what do you know, Bill Ackman came up again today. So really interesting, wondering where it's all going to end up and seeing where it's at. Good stream, man. I appreciate it, brother. Because, like, this is what we have so far. And mind you, everything here is a thing, But I'll need to find a new way to organize this and make it a little easier to read for everyone. And hopefully I'll have that by next stream. Hopefully by next stream I can sort of separate everything a little better and organize everything. Now, the trick is, I say that every time, and I never do. So, I guess we'll see. I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. We had Jody Mac P, which, by the way, thank you for the 20 yesterday. We had Out in Left Field, Dabby Dabs, Benfiginio, Befegnio, something like that. King Berserker, Pastel, Mule, HVO, Cocoa Biscuits, Turbo. Mia came through and donated fucking $100, which is awesome because I'm making virtually no money. Done effed up, Warrior in the Garden. You guys are fucking awesome. Oh, Crimson was here. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Oh, DB, thank you for the membership. Mia, thank you for the membership. Bob the Builder. And I think that's everybody. Sonewell, thank you for showing up. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Remember that this network, all these connections, everything like this, that's how the world works. You get people in a company together, that sort of gets you all on the same page, sort of like these handshakes that can happen with a contract and going like that. Other than the mic sounding like a bowl of Rice Krispies, very awesome stream. This is all good info. I know a lot of these, but I learn a lot every show. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that, Dabby Dabs. I learn a lot every stream too. And I'm hoping that for the next stream, we'll have somebody that can join us as like a subject matter expert to help us map out something. I'm hoping to get back on Racine next week. And we'll continue with the Mike Flynn web too. And go from there. But thank you again, everybody. Make sure to visit my link tree down in the description. Um, we have all my channels. We have my Substack where I'm writing articles now, so be on the lookout for those. I have merch that is available that I make, and that helps to support the stream, and you also get something for yourself. You can find that there as well. And then a donation if you guys want to, do like a buy me a coffee or something like that. Help support the stream. You don't want to give to like Google or Rumble or anything like that. Feel free to hit me up there. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll be live again, maybe Saturday, but definitely next week on Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. I appreciate you all so much for your love and support. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.